Okay. All right, guys. So just a second. I got a message saying I was on mute. On that note, I'm so sorry. Let me start. For those people who are here, I'm so sorry. I had to, somewhere I pressed the mute button and then it got stopped. So I'm going to quickly skim through what I covered. Okay, so we are on episode number 38, and I just covered 2, 3 slides. You haven't missed anything. But what I want to tell you is today we will see yet another episode of how to spark that imagination using your imagination skills. How do you fuel motivation and achieve your goals? Okay, learning how to use imagination as a powerful tool to fuel motivation at all levels. Whether you are a leader, you need to solve problems, there can be an imagination sparked over there. And in what areas? Again, on your personal goals, career advancement, as a parenting, to handle your family demands, family goals, everywhere you can spark those imaginations. Okay. And we have done a certain episode, a certain set of episodes in the previous times about creativity itself. We took an angle of creative problem solving for as a parent, as a leader, as an entrepreneur. Now we are seeing how yesterday also we saw how to transform the mundane into magical also. Now today we are applying that imagination at all categories. Okay. As usual in this episode, we will see definition based on, we'll take a particular skill and we will define that on a generic note. And then we will use the brain related definition using how the left brain and right brain approaches, and then benefits of it. What if you have it and what if you don't have it? What are the advantage and disadvantage? And we will see where and all those areas where you can apply these skill set and strategies using your left brain, right brain, and midbrain. So that will be the point shooter. And then lastly, we will see a case study who is actually modeling these skill set. It is important to see somebody has successfully modeled this, and I would like to also do that because it may help me in my profile. Okay, so that way I create a case study for each and every episode. All right, today we'll see understanding imagination for motivation. So definition is imagination creates mental images and ideas that can inspire and motivate goal achievement. Okay, now how do we approach? Left brain approach is applying imagination strategically, so to set goals and develop action plans. Right brain says tap into dreams and emotions that envision the positive outcomes. Okay, so different approach for different set of brain, right? I mean, different side of brain. The left brain is saying you're going to apply the imagination, which is actually the right brain, but strategically to set goals and develop action plans. Your right brain is saying you're going to tap into those imagination through your emotions to envision the positive outcomes. Now, benefits of imaginative motivation is you can drive really well. There are two types of motivation. One is intrinsic, and another one is external. External is always dependent on some other outside sources. Okay, reward, recognition, promotion, salary, some awards. Okay, so all those are externally driven. They have some logical derivation to it, right? It could be a point system, it could be an assessment done, it could be a track record. They will review it and then they will recognize prioritization happens, category happens. Okay, now the other side is the right brain. That will be your intrinsic motivation. Okay, that's where you will have to create it through your own emotions, through your passion, through your imagination, through your adventure, excitement, curiosity. This is how hope, faith, belief, visionary, thinking beyond, all these are going to give you that internal motivation. So it's very, very important that emotional intelligence is not just limited to only, of course, this entire series is dedicated to busy moms, but my heart goes out to all those people who are juggling, roles, and all those people who are really feeling stressful. It starts with students, career oriented people looking for a job, or getting married, young moms, young parents, young adults, also career break women, anybody who's trying to battle with certain things in life, like juggling with roles, demands, responsibilities, as well as, outside environment also takes over. So in order to keep up the battle, we need to have such internal motivation for us to every day when you wake up, you need to have something to do on that day, right? So it is very important to keep driving yourself. Visualizing success is going to fuel that passion, and it energizes you with some determination. Okay, you need to energize yourself, and that is why intrinsic motivation. And you're going to inspire that creativity. Imagination opens up new possibilities and innovative solutions. Okay, now in terms of increasing resilience, now what will happen is, when you can intrinsically motivate, you can bounce back. The very first episode in this series, we saw about how to bounce back like a pro. So it is something happening internally. You don't need an external support. Okay. So that is how you fuel your success to help you overcome your obstacles. And then it naturally it aligns you to better focus. Because when you want to motivate yourself without any external, because as a mom, when you're at stay-at-home mom, there are no rewards and recognition, right? So you need to create those things for yourself. So self-love, self-motivation is very, very important to keep yourself energized. Because how much can you go with the mundane acceptance of life? Even that, the brain will limit it, because it is important that um, you need to understand that brain needs gratification, either in the form of reward, recognition, or likes, love symbol, like symbol, comments. Those are all dopamine effect. So the brain needs it more. And if you can, you know, uh, uh, give that gratification for your own self without expecting from others, then that is called self-motivation. So it is going to get you that focus only. All these are all benefits. There's also the sideline to it. Suppose you overdo on it. Imagination definitely drives you a boost your drive. It also fuels you to take action, and a lot of things can happen, provided you don't overdo on it. And if you overdo, it is going to set unrealistic expectations for you from you, because you are walking on the uncharted path. You're imagining it, right? You're not yet reached your goal. You have visualized your goals, but for you to walk towards that, it takes time, and it could be uncharted for you. Somebody would have already walked the path, but for you, it's a new thing. So you will have to stay grounded. At the same time, without practical planning, it might take you to hallucinations. So it is important to take that blend of logical brain to make you grounded with a lot of real-time evidence. Overthinking, imagining too many scenarios may cause indecision to overanalysis also. You're also going to, procrastinate if you kind of, have this constantly imagining success without action can result in procrastination. Too many times you are like asking, what if? Have you seen this? If somebody is hyper vigilant about something, you constantly go, what if? Hyper proactivity is also not good. So in the episode of proactivity, we've got series of episodes we have done on that proactivity skill itself. I would highly recommend you to go through those strategies to see how not to overdo on proactivity also. Okay. Then comes importance of imagination in motivation. What if you don't have this? Without imagination, you're going to struggle to stay inspired or miss creative solutions. It is very important that, um, as I said, maybe you're dependent on somebody to get you that reward and recognition to push. Okay. That time, without having the necessary self motivation, you're actually missing a great deal. Suppose how long can you depend on that external source? Suppose they're not there. You will either take a step back, you won't try to, work on it, or you delay on it and you become a serial procrastinator. So stagnation happens. So this is the outcome of somebody who cannot visualize. They will just be in the same position. But suppose you have this visualization, that imagination power in you, that you can visualize the outcome already. That is where the hope, faith, belief in life happens, right? That's what our elders, advises, right? Life has to happen, whether there's a setback or adversity. How can you that time imagine in something positive? That is how imagination power works. Okay. So it does sparks that excitement and motivates you to achieve that goals through visualization. In other words, it is surrendering. Okay. But in on the logical surface, that is materialistic, what happens is you you have those intangible elements in you, the value system of hope, faith, belief, and all that, which is helping you because those are the value systems. At the same time, you have to take the blend of practically what is happening right now. You should be able to review the mistakes. You should be able to course correct. You should also take multiple perspectives so that your imagination can support supported with some evidence. Otherwise, it will be a daydreaming. Okay, it is very risky. As much as the person can be a visionary, they can also be daydreaming, and there are two big difference with this. Okay, statistically, Harvard Business Center reviews that 40% of higher goal achievement with visualization techniques happens. So if you are a person with good visualization for you and it is working, then that means you can be motivated no matter how is your 1 minute, guys. So no matter how hard it is on you, but if you have this power of visualizing, you can be 10 step good 10 step ahead than the other people in your team. Okay. On that note, I'm also going to cover let's see what is the next okay. Next is who's going to be benefited? Entrepreneurs, parents, students, creatives. That is creators like artists or somebody who's on creative projects like design thinking and all those people. But then is it limited to only those people? No, it is needed for all gender, any gender, any profile. Even a student needs that visualization capacity, and it is needed that school instigates the right brain activities, right brain curriculum more than the logical thing which is already there. Okay, applying imagination in career development. Let's see where are these applicability happens. Now in career development, what is happening is there are three ways that you can look at this. One, visualizing your career path. Even though you have not attained there, if you can visualize what kind of a dream job you want. Now this visualization happens right now in the education system. At least over here, I'm in US, this particular career plan happens right at the end of the middle school. Before the middle school ends itself, the kids and parents are being prepared to predict or to expect certain things in the next 4 years plan. It's called 4-year plan. By the time they finish their high school, they're very clear and they know where exactly what college they want to land and what kind of courses they are going to take and what is the career they're going to build. It is not just made clear for the student, it is also made clear for the parents so that the planning and collaboration can happen very easily. Because if the student is not clear and if the parent is clear and there's a clash, then the planning is not enough. But if the students is very clear and the parents are not able to support with certain resources, that is also a problem. So that is why this 4-year plan. So it is important to start saving, as well as from your side, start saving and focus on those areas where the students are supposed to be taking electives. And, it has to narrow down from the mid school onwards, it has to narrow down. It just cannot go wider. And at the same time, for you to advance in your career, if you can visualize 5 years down the line where you want to be, maybe think about starting, if you're a software person already, starting a tech startup and you holding a team towards innovative projects, which is going to support the sustainability of the planet. So that could be a visualization techniques that you can use. And that is going to, in EQ, we call it as noble goal, pursuing noble goal. So having a noble goal in life is a classic example. But for you to have that, these are talents that can build that noble goal and overcoming this challenge. Okay, now that you have a visualization, but for you to stay motivated throughout those difficult career stages is also important. Now, for you to be motivated when you are in a career in an organization setup, they anyway have certain formalities like they have a performance review. All right, guys. So okay, just a second. All right. So anyway, they have a performance review happening, and okay, I'm just going to share the screen again. Just let me know if this. Okay. And organization setup is very clear with the external motivation factors. It's all properly set up. But for your noble goal, you have your vision for next 5 years, 10 years. For that, you need to intrinsically be motivated. So to fuel that, you have to bring your passion, that entrepreneurship skills, the resilience has to have, be with you, and then risk tolerance. You need to take sometimes risk. Okay. So those are all right brain skills. Okay. Then innovative solutions. Imagine creative approaches to workplace problems also. So let's say you have this kind of a problem in career, like you may have a communication blocks right now in any of the process. Now you may want to think any software which can have this management of all those departments communication, and then you are able to easily have a project flow happening there. So all these departments are linked there, and it's like a SharePoint. How did they even come with SharePoint or common drive Excel sheet or something like that? How did it all happen? Because they were able to think through. And similarly, if you can find something which streamlines in your process, that will be an innovative solutions. And how can this happen? It starts with that visualization. It starts with that bigger goal in your mind. That is what is fueling to all these smaller chunks. Imaginations for personal goals. Same thing can be adapted to first personal goals also. Typically, the fitness goals. That is where we all struggle the most, right? So you're going to visualize competing a marathon to stay focused during your training. So this can be a classic example. Completing a marathon is not it's not an easy task. It demands a rigorous training every day, and it needs a lot of focus and alignment within yourself. You need to keep on doing it, and it becomes mundane also. But at the end of the day, you're visualizing you completing that, that entire thing. You're reaching that borderline. So for you to stay focused during your training itself, you need to visualize. This is how you're driving yourself. And then skill acquisition, imagining mastering a new skill to maintain that learning motivation. So when you're learning a new skill, okay, it could be tough. Typically, learning a swimming could be very tough for somebody who doesn't have that breathing capacity or are not able to initially to begin with. And during those practice times, it may be even more tougher, right? You gasp for air and you feel like quitting because it's just not happening. But during that time, if you can visualize you becoming a great swimmer or a lifeguard, that you're saving life, okay, maybe your own life or saving other people's life. So that can be a visualization for an adult. And for a student, maybe joining a competition or getting a credit score based on their swimming rewards and recognition, so that can outstand their overcome their daily challenges. And for personal growth, envision your ideal self to guide self improvement efforts. Now this is a classic example of ideal self, as in you imagine your own self, like how you want to be. Suppose you are in fitness school. How do you want to see yourself in the 6 months time, okay, or 8 months or 1 year time? So the classic exercise that we all did is, I joined a fitness program and we had something called dream dress. Okay, that was an easy measure for us. uh, Within a particular time, if we have achieved that goal, we will be able to wear the dream dress, the ideal dress that we all want to fit in, right? And at the end of the day, we all celebrated by wearing the dress, and then it becomes so very effortless for us. Okay, but then we always dreamt about that dress during the fitness regime, entire regime. So that helped us keep ourselves motivated. Okay, you may want to try this, or if you have something else working for you, please do give it as a comment, so that will be helpful for other people who are watching. And then during during parenting stage also, it is a little bit of when you have a toddler, you're not just running around, you're also tired, because you also have to be creatively taking care of the child, because child gets into mundane very very quickly, and they always need that spark. Okay, for that you need to be doubly working on your creativity. We did an exclusive episode for creativity for parents, so you might want to see that for a lot of other strategies. But here I'm going to give you three strategies. One, using storytelling, because stories always sells, whether it is bedtime or morning time or wherever it is, or even during intense sessions that you're imparting some discipline. There also, please use stories that can take care of that mundane or intense heated up situations. Okay, the impact is even more. Creative play, invent games which can turn the chores into exciting adventures. I'm not going deeper into it because we already covered an episode of that. Learning through imagination, using creative scenarios to teach that important life lessons. Yesterday also we saw, if you're a student, we also saw some strategies where you can use those imaginative aids to um, inculcate you can accelerate the learning using those aids. Okay. Then imagination and problem solving is to visualize those solutions itself. Even before they could occur, you're extending yourself to be there in that position as if you have already found it. Okay. You're going to imagine different approaches to tackle those different difficult problems. The moment you are able to see there yourself, that gives you that energy. It energizes you, and then it lets you open up the possibilities to find how can you combine that and this, you know, what if scenarios comes, and then what if you can combine that and this, not leaving any of these stone unturned. So creative brainstorming could be one way of generating innovative ideas also. That is, again, creative brainstorming could be many ways that we can see, taking multiple perspectives itself is a good thing that brainstorming can help, because only your brain styles can only get you that much information. But if it is combined with other brain styles, it is going to give you a compounding effect. So you should have, in the previous episodes, we saw how in an office setup where you can build those imaginative talents and skills as a strategy itself, like Innovation Harbor or Ideas Club. Those examples were explained in detail. So these practice will instigate people to start thinking, and also have that, breaking that larger goal into a smaller visualization practice. Ask the team members to visualize the smaller chunk, how they want to add this, their own visualization of the smaller chunk to the larger goal. That way, they will love the process of, adding their own flavor towards reaching the larger goal. All of us are working towards larger goal, but they will take that ownership towards making it happen. Similarly, mental simulations also. Mentally test potential solutions before implementations. That is why all that beta testing happens, prototype happens. Um, but here, what we are doing is visually, mentally, not using anything tangible, but mentally. Okay, that definitely works with a vision board. As I just said, you can break down those larger chunks and ask them to imagine the smaller manageable chunks, whatever they want to imagine, and work around that. If they can successfully figure it out, and then they can add more elements towards reaching the larger goal. Okay. Then comes imaginative leadership. So inspiring vision is also important. When you have become a leader, you're not just managing the team yourself, you're also managing the team. You're going to use imagination to create compulsive future scenarios. And, imaginative leaders can inspire team towards innovative goals. You're also going to create problem solving innovatively. How can we do that? All is required, to do that is the way that you shape up your team using those practices that we have been discussing in the previous episodes. All those practices will instigate that value system inside your team itself. You're going to align them with your vision, and you're going to take them with you. That way, they're they're able to solve the problems every time creatively, and they're going to add it up to the larger goal. So that way you can find a unique solutions using brainstorming, using their own vision board, combining that with the larger goal. Simulations can happen. Prototype is anyway brought in, and there could be a lot of streamlining happening on the way. They are going to include a lot of creative solutions to, like I said, communication blocks can be removed, or streamlining process can happen in between, so that the larger goal can all that can happen only when a person can think the larger goal. If they are not able to imagine, then they will be stuck with the current goals. Now we are talking about straight away as to how to use your left brain and right brain directly so that you can get started with using these tips directly. Okay. So the first one is visualization techniques. That is your right brain skills, right? Right brain demands you to come out of that routine one and lets you think about how you want to make things look like. So it'll allow you to visualize having a mental imaginary picture. Example could be a vision board, or dream dress can be a vision board. I mean, a visionary example, or even sensory engagement. Incorporate all senses in your visualization for a greater input. Yesterday, we created a vision board by the team, asking them to go through that, what do you call, artistic way of representing anything in their pictorial representation. Use their own hands to create something. By the time they see that stuck in their cubicle, every time they walk past, they're going to have that sensory effect through eyes and maybe through audio affirmations. Listening to their own affirmations can be a great success, great ways to instigate the auditory effect, and something to do with touching, right? So if you can have some props where you can touch and feel, that can also work for visualization impact. And there has to be a regular practice. Okay. Creative, effective vision for both the brains is choosing inspiring images, right? For your fitness goals, obviously, you will choose some great models, right? So have that model. And then for money goals, having the money note right on your, I have it here in the picture board. So I see that visually. Every time I come and sit here, literally the $100 note is here. I won't use that for anything. It'll be stuck there. So it no, denotes that there is some, something serious, because it's $100 note, it's very expensive, and it is stuck there to make sure that I always have this vibe seen. And you're going to include affirmations, motivation, or personal mantras, chanting, and updating it regularly. Reframing challenges also, like, that is also important. That is going to be your right brain, where whenever you feel stuck, it is important to see what if you combine that. You're not going to ignore it. You're not going to only stay with that. Why did it not happen? Okay. How can we make it happen? So that gives you a different energy and approach. Okay. Or what if we combine that and this? That will also give you a different angle. Imagining positive outcomes is also important. Creating action plan with not only thinking, but also creating that action plan. You are After this is again a tangential right brain approach. If you can, you're going to incorporate playfulness in your routine with regards to setup in your office setup. Yesterday, we saw how to create that mundane to magical. Okay, there we saw certain things that you can bring up in your official setup, like innovative idea clubs, or something to do with offsites where you take them to a team different place altogether from office routine, and as a staycation, give them team building activities. You're going to bring that team spirit, play activities, and trust and bonding will drive them to do the project together. For parents, there's a different ball game, that you need to bring that creativity in you so that you can keep your children engaged. And as a leader and as a business entrepreneur, you can do the same thing for your team. So you can gamify the tasks so that your mundane activities can be turned as a funny challenges. Even for parents, you can keep chores added up and then give them points, rewards, and pocket money, or something that they can get rewarded, and they will take that responsibility. Role playing, actually gamifying can work wonderfully well for business entrepreneurs, because the entire digital marketing is churning up with a lot of gamification tools. Okay. Fitness, it started with fitness, and then it branching out to even digital hackathon, technology hackathon, math hackathon. Even in schools, the government of India is recommending to gamify certain things. Okay. Role playing is a classic example. I just cannot insist more. Role playing is the best way for any lessons or any complexity to be broken. Okay. Creative rewards can also work really well. That way it instigates, like typically I said, a dream dress for my own self. Nobody is going to reward, but I'm going to reward myself. Okay. That can really work. And about setting achievable milestone. Lastly, so that we don't go overboard on right brain, it is important to have that blend of left brain where you're going to break down those big goals into manageable steps. You're going to visualize each step and celebrate progress. J.K. Rowling is the case study here. We have seen about her in the previous episodes. You know that she's won after battles in her personal life. She's lost her, she's a widow, having her children, and then they were like staying in the homeless center. Her story was rejected for a long, long, long time. She didn't give up. Now it's the most happening series, I think, from people grew from this part of the world, they grew watching Harry Potter. People are just waiting for the next series, and we completed watching the entire series, binge watched just before few weeks. We read the books also. Me and my daughter read the books, entire book. We always wanted to do, but then only after reading that kind of a book and staying here, we could understand how much has it impacted a child's memory. And J.K. Rowling's success denotes that her both the brain skills have definitely helped her. One is vivid imagination, creating that entire magical world while facing all those personal hardships is very, very tough for a woman. And structured writing also organized all those imaginative ideas into a detailed 7 book plot. Okay, when I did a case study, I could understand how both these skill set worked really wonderful to make that magic. And also resilience. She didn't give up. She stayed thoroughly motivated throughout her rejections by envisioning the process. So that's the spark here. She imagined her success already there. So that is why her case study is always inspirational leadership style. So success stories, a rolling journey itself is inspiring millions in the world across. And it is a resilience model. She demonstrated clearly the power of imagination and perseverance. It is a creative influence also that it inspires others to harness imagination for success. After watching that movie, in fact, even during when we started reading the book itself, we couldn't come out of that world. Now, me and my daughter have started talking the Harry Potter jargons. So we clearly understand and we can match our words. So even something that she wants to convey, she will, she can pick up the Harry Potter jargons, and then I'll be able to understand. Overcoming imagination blocks, because having said this, we all know that it is important, but we still have some blocks, right? What are those? How do you overcome that? Mindfulness practice will help you overcome those blocks. What are those blocks? Could be the disadvantages we already discussed. It could be a over analysis paralysis or too much of imagination happening where you start daydreaming it. So you need to take that as a block and start making practices which will bring you down to the logic blend. And inspiration gathering also. So when you're stuck with the mundane activities, you'll have to inject some creativity. You'll have to gather inspiration. You just cannot keep creating within yourself. You'll have to bring from other sources also. How do you gather inspiration? Typically from nature, from people around you, from things on even your process while you're learning. There could be some inspiration, and a case study can be a clear shot inspiration. Or series like this could be an inspiration because somewhere some bulb on moments can definitely happen. And change of scenery is also important. That is environment. If you think you are stuck with mundane, maybe you need to change something. Maybe quickly declutter your workspace. That can give you some different feel. Or declutter your particular room, or change of friends, change of atmosphere. Just take a walk outside, going outside, stepping out, either as a staycation or a 1 day vacation or a long 7 days, 1 month vacation can definitely bring a lot of changes. Okay. And morning visualization is also important, where you're starting your day with imaginary positive outcomes. Now, having said everything, you have to start implementing on a daily life. How do you do that? First thing is start visualization. Either you do it morning or night. Okay. You're going to creatively solve problems, start solving problem. I've done an exclusive episode for creative problem solving. And if you think you have a time crunch, you can listen to the podcast also. I'll give the links in the description. You can on the fly, on the go, you can listen. And evening reflection is important. Start writing gratitude or, your goals, your affirmations can be heard. So a lot of things can clear up your brain. And you're going to cultivate this for a long term. How? You're going to regularly practice. Continuous learning is important. Staying with this kind of an environment, Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so that you get notified whenever I come online or publish a video. Stay communicated and also stay with a community of like-minded people because there's a lot of online community and I too have a community. I'll give you the link in the description. This is about 100 people that we all got together from across USA, Canada. And for India, we have a separate group. These groups were formed based out of the needs and the like-minded mindset. This is not for self-promotion. These are just started with some random topics, and then we got evolved into a educational community where we share common problems and solutions also. If you're at this point of time thinking what you are and then how you want to assess, I'll give you a tip where you can take this quiz bundles and see whether this is working for you or not. That way you can understand how to develop these skill set in order to make sure that you are able to inculcate whatever is being taught here in your day-to-day activities also so that you're not lost. There is something called EQ quiz bundles that I can give it to you. You can assess where you stand in all these insights. Okay. Not just for this episode, also for the other topics, previous episodes and the future episodes. There's going to be a lot of quizzes happening inside this quiz bundles, which will be given to you lifetime access. But you'll have to just give me some engagement. Like if you have listened to this episode fully, then drop in a comment something which actually worked for you really well in your life, how imagination has sparked really those results in your goals, how has it helped you stay motivated, or pick up some learnings, what you learned from this episode. Okay. See, ideally, we all, are, developing, we're all in working progress. There is no mastery. Emotional intelligence also is not a mastery level. We have to make it functional. We have to learn from our mistakes and learn from other people's mistakes. Even today, I didn't know that it got muted. So it's just a small thing. I will correct it. But then what if I get stuck and then I say no to the entire YouTube live? Then it's of I will again stagnate and this will, let me only go downward spiral. Instead, I know people who are watching here will understand because, some may be in a different environment. Some may be, see, for me, it's a work in progress. And for me, the more I do is when I will understand these logistics. And for somebody who's already walked through this, they have also begun the journey somewhere. They would have also done it. So we need to understand that things like resilience or imagination, all that could be seen as a rocket science, but it is important somewhere we have to start. Okay. Maybe you watching this episode itself is a start, or you are there to develop and accelerate from here onwards. That is why I'm here to help you. I'll be doing this 100 episodes for emotional intelligence exclusively. Make use of it. There is an quiz bundles also to help you assess. So when you can engage as comments, I will give it to you free of cost. Otherwise, it is for a cost. Okay, the link is given in the description. It'll be for a cost. But if you can engage and I see your comments after I finish the live, please post it as a comment. Then I will uh, email it to you, the 100% free coupon code. With that, you can access it. Second thing is, I also invite you for my EQ Masterclass to accelerate your brain style way of approaching. Okay, I'll open up the secret as to how to let you focus left brain, right brain, midbrain directly, and how do you make yourself a smart decision maker, and how do you drive yourself really well, not through theories, because theory all happens here in YouTube, podcast, and everywhere. But over there, it is all practical. I will be pulling out reports, sample reports to show you this is how it is. Concretely, we will be talking about data points. From there on, even today, for my community people, I'm doing a workshop where I'm aligning their brain styles so that their goals can be aligned that way. So they are like having a concrete goal, concrete data points. So it's not just a fluffy thing. So they are going to look at their own brain style report and accordingly they are going to design their goals. So you know how nice it will be, right? There'll never be a conflict. They need not return back. So from there on, it is only accelerated. And of course, there are free resources for you to make use of it. I'm coming there on social media. Right now, you're watching YouTube live. So please subscribe to it if you have not already done. And I'm also giving this same episode in Spotify. It is coming to you as a shorter version. And there's a Substack platform where I'm giving all the EQ related, skill competency related articles in a storyfied format. So everything is out there for you to make use of it. And emotional intelligence itself or the creativity or imagination skills that we are talking about, it is not just for artists or big innovators, scientists, and all that. I've been, constantly telling this is out there for us to make use of it. Please use all those free resources available for you. And if you really like this kind of an episode, pardon me for all those logistics issues, but if you think the education given here, the insights is a bulb on moment for you, please do like and subscribe, and also comment. I'll be more than happy. And also share it with somebody whom you think it's needed. Tomorrow, I'll see you with a different topic. And until that, stay creative and start making some